Okay, all right. Welcome to the planning board of January 5th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Emily, would you read the item?
I can. This is technically the remote prelude, but I think but that's what, can I just do the gist? Yeah, I think we can do the gist. Essentially, meetings can be hybrid if you're participating remotely. If there's technical issues, you're out of luck. And certain meetings can be held in a hybrid fashion with notification under open meeting law, Master General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20, until at minimum June 2027.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, there was just a little blip of the hybrid meeting that was advertised as Zoom, so I think we are all set. All right, so meeting. Okay. Guidelines for business meeting, please speak one at a time, follow due from code of conduct, be respectful, consider it courteous, concise, and recognized by the chair. And I will take attendance. And there are no demerits for coming
On the back.
late, no.
On the back.
Okay. Parking lot. Okay, Dan?
Lady Buchanan here.
Rachel?
Rachel Lane here.
Emily?
Emily Gaylord here.
Kathy?
Yeah, come over here.
Andrea?
Andrea here, and it's very hard to hear you. Very hard to hear you.
Well, we can hear you.
Good.
Okay, we'll try and speak louder if you can speak a little softer. And Kathy?
Kathy Sylvester here.
Well, we've got a wonderful sound system, as we all know, so we'll with it, okay? All right. Okay, so has everyone had a chance to read the minutes of 11/20/25? If so, are there any corrections, additions? Everyone good? So I will take a vote on that. Andrea?
We need to make the motion.
I move that we accept the minute. I move that we accept the minutes as presented. Rachel Lane.
Emily Gaylord, second.
Okay, thank you. Getting ahead of myself. All right, take a vote. Andrea?
I think what you said is, can I second, can we approve the minutes? It's really hard to hear you. But yes, I approve the minutes.
Andrea, and there's nothing we can do about that, so we're gonna do our best.
Kathy, can you hear us?
It's hard. It's hard to hear.
Because we're right. I mean,
It is loud in here.
yeah.
I can hear you. It's harder to hear Denise, I'd say.
Asking here, so. Alex is gonna try and adjust it, but, you know, much we can do.
Sure.
Okay. All right, so I will take a vote on the minutes.
Voting on the minute.
Voting on the minutes.
Okay. I say yes, if you're asking me.
Yes, vote.
And
Kathy Buchanan, yes.
Rachel,
Rachel Lane, yes.
Emily,
Emily Gaylord, yes.
Kathy Wetruba, yes.
Denise Mason, yes. It's her pass. Okay.
Oh, I get my phone.
Yeah. Okay. How's it going there, Alex? Any better?
It's not my forte.
Well,
We can appreciate the forte though.
okay, you know what, Andrea and Kathy, if it's not an issue, we have a quorum, okay? So don't even worry about it. We've got a quorum, just sit there and watch.
We can also put notes in them. We could chat. Type in the chat.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna go on to new business, the A&R Walking Road, map 86, lot 7. The gentleman, Mr. Molinar, is not in attendance. I don't think he needs to be, but Amy, can you briefly tell us what it is?
Yeah, so he is splitting one lot into two, and it's essentially he's separating, part of the lot is APR land and part of the lot lot isn't, so he is separating it along the APR line. If you give me a second, I can get it up on the screen.
Yeah, yeah, this is. All right, there it is.
Okay, so we have it up on the screen. And we don't have it on the screen.
Yeah, but I don't understand it too. I understood it better on the, here, this, right, and that. And this is the APR, and this is not. Oh, this is the APR section, I got it. Why? Because he's got the frontage along Wapping. But why is the APR in Holland? This part, sorry, that means he only sold the rights to this land. Didn't sell the rights to this land.
Not the same as what's on there.
No.
Sorry.
So, and this is when APR is coming mature and they're trying to really hold, so he can build on this.
Okay, can you use, I can just explain it to everybody else.
Well, the way it looks on the map, I think that Ann and I were just chatting here, the way it looks on the map is that.
That's not the map. Amy's looking for the other.
Oh, good. That's not it, yeah, even Andrew's shaking her head. That's all right, so the map looks to be that there's a property that is on, most of it is on Greenfield Road, though a lot of it is on Wapping. And, the APR property that is, to the east side of, Greenfield Road. And you see it all, I mean, that's where it's opposite the farm, actually, it's opposite the farm building. But apparently, this back parcel that's on Walking Road, which is probably mostly wooded, I just was passing by and trying to figure out why this kind of geometric cutout here. And that's what Ann was just asking. There's Alan. And maybe explain to us why there's such a geometric cutout. You know? Is,
No, this is not what I have. So what is? I'm sorry, are you looking you're looking at
we're
that
looking
map?
at the map.
I think that is the line of the APR.
That's the line,
That's the APR line,
Okay.
yes. It's right along the APR line.
So,
All you really have to decide is that it's not a subdivision and it's one lot going into two,
it's
so.
one lot going into two.
Yeah.
And it's MDR that has to worry about that line, not us.
I mean, it seems pretty simple and Andrew and Kathy, if you can hear me, you have that on your handout that was sent to you, so if you need to reference that.
Right. It is the same map that we're looking at, that was on in the packet.
Okay. If there are no questions, I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
Alex is gonna put it up on the screen.
Okay. And has Bob looked at that, our building commissioner?
Yes, Bob looked at that and approved.
The map's just a little confusing because it cuts off half of the property, so I'll switch over to a satellite.
Yeah. This is funny part. What's the beat food? Sorry. Okay, sorry,
It is this part, right here.
and it is
What
whatever.
you can see is it cuts across like
Mhm.
up in here. And then if you take the,
Can you?
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
like,
If you take the satellite out of it too, it shows it's actually pretty like, there's decent amount of topography, kind of like
Yes.
right in that area too. Which- Yeah.
I'm just, it's this cutout, it's weird of me, but this cutout is funny, that's where Greg Belanger,
Oh, right,
the
yes.
memorial to Greg. That's right where the memorial to Greg Belanger is right there.
All right.
Well, it's just separating the APR land from the rest of the land.
Okay, so it looked.
Andrea's got a hand, that's all.
Yep, may I talk? So this is quite near my home and I'm just trying to figure out, so he's separating the A and R, APR land from other land. And the other land is going to be built upon, or it's already got a house, or what's?
We don't know, and that's really not part of our decision. It's just a matter of whether this ANR represents a possible subdivision, and one parcel being divided into two does not represent a subdivision as far as I can tell.
Okay, because so we can't say that it's going to be further subdivided. It just, he's pulling off the APR land from other. Okay.
So this was never APR, this part there. So why do we even have to do this?
If he were to sell that property, then it would be much easier for him to sell that without the APR.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, Lee, thank you. All right, so it seems pretty straightforward. Fine with the commissioner, it's not a subdivision, so do I hear a motion to
I move we approve the APR,
We endorse.
endorse the ANR.
And I second Rachel Lane,
Okay,
Emily,
call for a vote? And
Gannon, aye.
Rachel Lane, aye.
Emily Gaylord, aye.
Kathy Wetruba, aye.
Andrea?
Andrea Leibson, aye.
And Kathy Sylvester, aye.
All right, thank you. Okay, we can sign this now.
Yeah,
Do it now. Yeah, I mean, please. The rest of the meeting, we just. I don't think since they can't hear, and this is a pretty, just tell them. If they want. Oh, if they can't hear us.
So, I mean, if you speak, so Andrea, can you hear me now?
I can hear, Amy, but I couldn't hear anything Denise said.
The secret is to put your face right in the microphone, and you sound very loud in this room.
Can you hear me?
Look, in a very quiet voice, yes.
Microphone, Andrea.
This is why I stopped attending from home, and why I was constantly asking people. Seriously, it's why I was constantly telling people to speak into the microphone, because you can't hear at home.
Maybe our new town hall will do better.
Yes, I was gonna say, in a year, it will have a much better basis.
But I couldn't figure it out, so I just had it at the perfect height, but it was too high for sitting and too low for standing, and my back is all. I figured it out. Here I come. Oh, put it over my bag. Sounded great.
Why is your microphone loud as you talk? It's not like
Because I'm putting my face right in it.
I was putting my face in it too.
Half an inch, really. about 2 inches and half an inch.
How about this?
Pollyanna, this is not a comedy show.
How about this one? This is a good one.
Why am I on the planning board? Because of the Annie. Oh, well, should not. Okay. Yeah, okay. So other business, can you hear me now? I am so close, okay,
I can hear you, Denise.
good. So steering committee, Conway School zoning study.
Okay, I'll take this one. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So we have officially signed a contract with the Conway School of Landscape Design to have 3 graduate students help us with a housing analysis. Our planning board, our zoning board, across a few other committees in town, we've been talking about, there is a housing crisis, especially in Western Mass in our area. Nobody is surprised by that fact. But we don't have this really good tangible data for what housing is available in our town, what's here currently, what is the future gonna look like? And there are some, studies that we've done over the past few years, that FERCog has helped us with regarding housing production plans and, just looking at Franklin County as a whole. And so since we're doing an ADU bylaw update, which is essentially housing, why don't we maybe use this free study from these graduate students to really help us put some data to some of our bylaw amendment proposed changes, maybe things that if we have to touch it anyway, because we have to update our ADU bylaw because it's out of compliance with the state regs, maybe we can make some minor tweaks and help some other families. We've had actually quite a few, I'll just say kind of unique situations where we've been really trying to help applicants and residents in town add more housing to their properties, but they've had to go through these weird zoning barriers or, we're really trying to vet these processes and, these are residents that they're just trying to add, a lot of them actually are just trying to add more housing for their own family. Bloody Brook Farm is a good example. They've come before us. There's one before the zoning board that we'll hear next week. Again, it's changing one of the old funeral homes into a multi-family unit where the daughter lives up front with her family. And then, the grandparents would like to have a smaller in-law apartment and then a few other apartments to rent out. So, and it's on Grave Street where there's a lot of other multi-family units already. And, a lot of our just lots off the bat just don't conform to our current dimensional standards and requirements. And I'm not saying we go and, wash everything away, but maybe there's some minor tweaks or we allow more special permits to allow housing in areas where it makes sense and it's more discretionary. So my ask is that this study is going to occur from January, literally next week is the proposed first meeting, until the end of March. And so we're trying to line up this analysis with maybe some of the housing community of choice things. So there's a lot of stars aligning here, so sorry. But the housing community of choice is also another state funded program that allows grants for infrastructure, for roads, for housing developments. And you have to meet certain criteria. Your bylaws, a lot of it is, how progressive and how many changes and what are you doing to try to make housing development more feasible? And so, can we take this ADU bylaw update? Can we look at the housing community choice parameters? Can we find somewhere in the middle as we're doing bylaw updates to kind of hit all of these target goals? Or maybe we don't, maybe we just figure out what is best for our community and housing situations. So, the study is pretty broad. I shared a scope of work, I think, at the last meeting. And it has a whole bunch of things on it because we're going to be working with grad students and it's their, it's their masters. And so we want to get some really good data out of this, but we also want to make sure, you know, they're going to be interested in it. It's going to be useful for us. And so there's a series of meetings. It's generally weekly meetings from next week in January until the end of March, where then they'll do a full presentation and share some of their recommendations. And it's really data and things focused, so it's a lot of GIS analysis. And we actually just have an Esri account. I've finally gotten into some of our old data over the last month, and so it's kind of all coming together as part of the data stuff. But we need some people who live here and hopefully in some of our committees to actually help guide these studies and, you know, provide some input. So I know Andrea was interested, but was anybody else on the planning board interested in joining on that kind of core team to help steer these graduate students?
Do you know what time the meetings are going to be?
No, totally flexible right now. So if we get a handful of people that are interested.
Who else, what other committees are you interested in?
Well, I asked the ZBA, of course, because they have a lot of sway over that as well. So Mark Vernon said he would be interested. For him, it'd have to be after 5 p.m. working hours, which makes sense. I mean, they're grad students, right? Like I took classes at 8 o'clock, like we'll figure it out. So, no, there are virtual options for sure, because I think their students are kind of all over too. So I'm predominantly, it seems like they'd be virtual, obviously with some in person, but.
So, I have a question. So the data points they're looking at, are they looking at historical data points?
About what?
There. Okay, are they looking for projected data, historical data, current data, like I remember this melding of like what we have seen in the past, what we are dealing with currently as it relates to some of these larger homes and fewer children, projected needs and potential outcomes with our bylaws and our ADU? Do we like have a scope, I suppose?
We have a scope, but it is very broad and it pretty much covers all of us. It could, obviously we'll need to narrow it down. It's only a few weeks and there's only 3 grad students. So,
Well, I think there's probably different people who could lend perspectives that have lived here for 40
Right.
years and have just moved here,
True.
or want to move here, or have 2 children, or are retired, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think there's a broad range of people in this community that could be members to lend, you know, a broader picture. That's all.
yeah, and it doesn't have to be board members necessarily. I just figured, you know, you guys would know some of the pretext to the dimensional requirements.
When was the last time, this is just curious, when we had a, Paul, Alice and I were on a subcommittee a gajillion years ago, a lifetime ago. And, we had some stats then, I was like 12 years ago. Are those, it was current inventory, it was a current inventory. It was with the FERCog and there was a threat of unfriendly housing development.
Yeah.
And in order to prove, and then if you weren't meeting these various criteria, like if your housing inventory was, you know,
Right.
meet this threshold and you weren't actually actively working on, it was what motivated us to move with our ADU bylaws very slowly. And then their cat is gotta get up. Do you know anything about that?
I can look for that in the files if that would help. You think it was maybe 12 years ago, and it was through the planning board? Okay.
And the FERCog.
FERCog,
FERCog helped us with it, give her name, I don't remember. it.
yeah, I'm sure I can find it in the files
I
somewhere.
remember one of the features of it was that they said that our housing is so expensive in Deerfield, that was a big part of it, and that a teacher and a police officer couldn't live in our town. That was like the motivating feature, and I mean, we have a hard time, we can't hire people from town, because so it was like a workforce thing.
It might be is it the housing production plan, but it's different? Okay, yeah, that's from 2014, so.
Kathy, do you have a question?
Well, I was just gonna say, I wondered if anybody on the senior housing committee would be interested, because obviously their focus is housing for seniors anyway. I'm on that committee, but I'm hesitant to add.
It's really good on a committee too. I was actually going to, because I'm crap on a committee. I always think, oh, I'd love to do that. And then I'm crap. Ask Kathy, she'll tell you. But she is great.
Who?
Perfect matchup for you, Kath.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about me. I can't get all that you're saying.
I'm talking about you. Pretending
No.
like you're hearing everything I say, you would be perfect on this.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Thank you very much, Rachel. Well, I'm gone for a week in February. I'm gone for a week in March. I am willing to, do it. It's a short requirement, but I may not be here, during some of those critical meetings. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I can propose, we can have like an inflow of people and I could just figure out what dates work for students and then
Mhm.
that we can assume just regular meetings on a certain day. That makes sense.
Okay. Call me an alternate.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, Emily.
I just, if I add another weekly thing, my husband. This is recorded, but.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Is there anything else? So you've got a few people and you'll get back to that?
Yep, yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, I think everyone received the Sunny Days update. If you've read it, it's the update, that's all there is. It was my understanding they were gonna open in March, but from reading this, it doesn't seem that way. So I guess stay tuned, they'll be open sometime soon.
I do wanna say though, the wetland information was very cool, that it's actually improved the wetlands because they were able to provide more sunlight into the area, and so it's actually revitalizing some of the wetlands, which I thought was very cool.
I think that is a really key point that might be great in the article that Aliana writes. Because, well, because there were a lot of questions about the wetlands and building there. So just having this information, which it might be great to give Aliana a copy of that report. So if you decided to write anything, you would have that. But yeah, I thought that was very promising for you.
Is it in the agenda materials?
It's in there.
You want that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can just email it.
So I'm gonna just put this out there that, if any of you go to the Wachusett station, which is a commuter station going into Boston, and I was there 4 times, count them, 4 times, taking my kids in and out of everywhere. And I discovered that, in fact, right by Wachusett is and it's right on this highway, it's a perfect place for a growing and retail stop. And there it is. And it hasn't always been there. I've used this Wachusett station with my kids a lot. And, my daughter and I both noticed that the smell is distinctive in the morning. Now, like I said, many times, and they're only in the morning. So it's kind of interesting, just to kind of highlight this for future whatever, is that there is a hot smell that emanates from that. I'm forgetting the name of the cannabis growth and retail, and then you can later in the day, or even as it goes on, and I don't know why, but just to kind of put it out there, that there is a smell. When we talked about the smell, and it's not overwhelming, and nobody's getting high, but it's something we're gonna hear about.
Sure. But the question is, when was that built? Recently. Okay, well, time will tell.
I think it's good, people are gonna say something about it.
Well, I smell Yankee Candle all the time.
Exactly.
Hear that.
It may be that nobody smells it because it's so close to Yankee, but Yankee hasn't been emanating that, they're not as pleasant as they used to be. They used to be.
It will be interesting though, because he was adamant, kind
Yeah, I know.
of, that compliance needs no smell.
Well, we'll go sniffing that for later, then, okay? Okay, all right, so, bylaw updates. I'm gonna pass that back to Alex.
Yeah, I think it was on there in duplicate, really. I mean, the ADU bylaws probably are big enough and biggest hurdle at the moment.
Well, we have the ADU bylaws, but also Amy, both Christopher have kept track of certain things, amendments to bylaws. I mean, I don't have the list. And I guess the decision is, do we look at all of them again? Do we try and do any of that for our next, annual meeting, town meeting?
Yeah, we could. I mean, I would think we pair up whatever ones make sense with the ADU bylaws. So right, we pay a fee every time we update our bylaws, not only for like town meeting and posting and flyers and all those things, but also AG reviews and everything else. And then they get posted to our code, which is another fee. So like, right, it kind of like expands and limits the clerk budget. And so I think we're gonna try to target the sections we already have to touch for the ADU bylaws this year, and then maybe like, keep, obviously, I think it's an annual thing, we'll always keep updating our bylaws.
So it's not worth bundling it. It's not a bundle, but we don't, there's no advantage in then doing all the work now. No, okay.
No, you're pretty much right, because it's just more review time, more time everyone's at every time.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some critical ones. I know one that comes to mind right now is, when we talk about trees in our bylaws, that might be one that we want on the list, because I think that's one of the more difficult ones. So we can talk about that later. But
Yeah, there's critical ones you guys have and you want, to really like hit on.
It just makes it more difficult when we have people who want to build. It gets a little muddy. Okay, all right. And then we've got master plan funding.
Yeah, so sorry, I'll just keep going. The one stop over the summer, when that opens up, they do have grants that allow for master plans. I haven't really looked into it tons because we've had a lot of other things going on this year. But we definitely could look at, I think getting a third-party consultant is always generally the best practice. They bring a lot of data, a lot of expertise, and definitely a lot more of the facilitation that I think really is really huge part of the master plan. So I think that would be really important. And then also just since it's timely, there is a citizens planning training collaborative. I might have messed up. Oh, go ahead. Oh, sorry. So they have a webinar series that's actually all about master plans. It's creating master plans, and it's on January 12th at 6. You have to pay the fee. It's $35 to register for it, but I plan on attending it. So we'll at least start looking at it, but that is a few year undertaking generally for a master plan.
I think I mentioned, oh gosh, probably before you came on board, I mentioned to Christopher that we had worked with VHP, don't ask me what it stands for, but they were really wonderful. We worked with them on the campus plan, and they had gotten back in touch with me a while ago, I think it's about a year ago, and talking about master planning and that they've done many master plans. They'll tell you they're a great company to work with, so I would just keep that in mind. May want to get in touch with them too.
We're in touch
Oh,
with
you
them.
are, okay, excellent. Yeah.
They're actually doing the industrial park, the road, the traffic study, so that study, so, yeah, cool. It has been great, so I echo that sentiment.
All right, and what else do we have on? We have elect a clerk. Satu, one of our former planning board members, was the clerk, and the clerk is not a real heavy lifting job. It's just if something needs to be signed, so if someone else could volunteer, and the only other thing is actually writing the end of the year report, which I've been doing because it's so much fun. Yeah. So is there someone here that could volunteer just in case we need something signed, that they would be willing to be clerk? I can do Okay, that would be Emily Gaylord. Thank you.
Oh, can it be both?
Yeah, so somebody wants to nominate her.
I'm already vice chair.
I nominate Emily.
Oh, but no, wait, hold on, the vice chair can't.
Why not? Why not? I mean, vice chair. I think vice chair actually was invented, like, we didn't have a vice chair before this. For the first several years that I was on the board, we didn't have a vice chair.
Can I just say the clerk's a do-nothing job?
Yeah, I think it can be both vice chair and clerk.
And I lived down the street.
I think it's brilliant. I nominate Emily Gaylord.
I second that.
That's Rachel, that's Denise.
We'll take a vote. Andrea,
Aye, for Emily.
Kathy,
Yes, thank you, Emily.
Aye.
Rachel,
Yes, aye.
Kathy,
Kathy Wetruba, if Emily cannot do both, if there's a conflict with that, I would be the clerk.
if she cannot fulfill her duties as a clerk.
Well, if you were in a position, if she's in a position where she can't do both.
Okay, thank you, Kathy.
You're so cute. Emily Gaylord, yes.
All right, I think it's unanimous. So our new clerk is Emily Gaylord.
Oh, I didn't, I lost the role. Okay. Thank you for that.
I seconded Denise. Okay. All right. Do we have any other business?
Well, that would mean maybe it's time to move to adjourn. I would make that motion, that's Rachel Lane.
I would second that motion, that's Emily Gaylord.
Do I hear a vote? Do I hear?
Yes, you hear a vote resounding.
Yes,
Let's see, Kathy says yes.
Ann?
Yes. Rachel says yes.
Emily Gaylord, yes.
Kathy?
Kathy Wetruba, yes.
Denise, yes, it's unanimous. Meeting is adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you.
bye.